Students, this is the third class of chapter 11, Work and Energy. In our previous class, we had started kinetic energy. We had seen its definition, its real-time examples, okay, and we had also derived the expression for kinetic energy, okay. In our today's class, we will start with few numerical questions, and then we will see what is the relationship between kinetic energy and momentum, okay. Now, here is the first example of the kinetic energy. It is saying a cart that weighs 15 kg is rolling down a hill with a velocity of 4.2 meter per second. What is the kinetic energy of the cart? Okay. Now, let's write it down whatever quantities which are given. 15 kg mass is given of the cart. So, my mass is 15 kg. Now velocity is given as 4.2 meter per second. Now what is unknown? What is the kinetic energy of the cart? So kinetic energy is the unknown term. Now let's write the known formula. The known formula for kinetic energy is half mv square. Here we are assuming that the cart is starting from the rest, so we are taking initial velocity as 0, okay. Now put the values. Half 15 into 4.2 whole square, okay. So kinetic energy will result in how much? It will result in 132.3 joules, okay. So this will be my final kinetic energy, okay. Now let's move to the another example. Again, following the same procedure, a car with a mass of 1600 kg has a kinetic energy of 125,000 joules. How fast is it moving? So now here given is mass, it is of 1600 kg. Now kinetic energy is also given here, it is 125,000 joules, okay. Now what is the unknown term here? They are asking how fast is it moving. That means they are asking us the velocity of the car, okay. So what is the known formula with us? It is the kinetic energy formula, okay, half mv square. So let's put all the values which are known to you. Kinetic energy as 125,000 joules, okay. Put the value of mass also. Now here the value of velocity is unknown, so we are just rewriting v square, okay. Now after solving this equation, we will get 12.5 meter per second, okay. So this will be my value of velocity here, okay. Which graph best represents the relationship between the kinetic energy and the velocity of an object accelerating in a straight line? That means we are given 4 graphs. Among the 4 graphs, which graph best represents the relationship between the kinetic energy and the velocity, okay. Now here the velocity of an object is accelerating in a straight line. That means there is an acceleration. That means there is a positive change in the velocity with respect to time, okay. Now when will there be a positive change in the velocity? When the since we know that velocity is represented on the x-axis and the kinetic energy is represented on the y-axis. Okay, now if there will be a positive change in the velocity, then I have to move the I have to move horizontally towards rightward direction. Okay, so we will see that which graph represents the best relationship between kinetic energy and velocity when there is an acceleration. Okay, so now first we will write down the formula that we have which shows the relationship between kinetic energy and velocity. So we will write the formula of kinetic energy first. It says that the kinetic energy is half mv square. That means my kinetic energy is directly proportional to what? It is directly proportional to mass of the object, and as well as the kinetic energy is directly proportional to the v square value. Okay, square of the velocity. So let's rewrite it. Kinetic energy is directly proportional to v square. Okay, now here what we will do is we will write the possible values, few possible values of the velocity, and we will write few possible respective values of kinetic energy. Okay, now as the velocity becomes 1 time, then what will be the change in the kinetic energy? It will become 1 time only. Okay, now as the velocity gets twice, what will be the change in the kinetic energy? It becomes 4 times. As velocity becomes 3 times, the kinetic energy will become 9 times. As the velocity becomes 4 times, my kinetic energy becomes what? 16 times. Okay, now if you will have a look on this table, you will see as the velocity is increasing, 1 2 3 4, the kinetic energy is also increasing first. Okay, secondly, as the velocity is increasing 1 2 3 4, kinetic energy is not increasing 1 2 3 4. Okay, it is, although it is increasing, but it is not increasing linearly, it is increasing non-linearly. Okay, now first have a look on the option A. You will see as velocity increases, that means as we go horizontally towards rightwards, my kinetic energy remains fixed. Okay, whatever the value of kinetic energy was there initially, it remains fixed throughout the motion. So this means that the kinetic energy is not changing when the velocity is changing. That means there is no change in the kinetic energy. So this doesn't represent the relationship between kinetic energy and velocity. Why? Because here as the velocity was increasing, kinetic energy was also increasing. It was not being fixed. Okay, so option A cannot be a possible option for us. Okay, so now what about option C? Here we can see that as the velocity is increasing, as we are going towards rightward, the kinetic energy will becoming what? It is decreasing radically. Okay, it is decreasing. So it cannot be the possible option. Why? Because there should be a positive change in the kinetic energy. It should increase. Okay, it should increase as the velocity increases. So this can also be not our option. Now we are left with the option B and option D. In both the options, we can see that as the velocity is increasing, there is a increase in the kinetic energy. Here the increase in the kinetic energy is linearly, And here the increase in the kinetic energy is non-linearly. Linearly means it is represent a line, non-linearly means it is not representing a straight line. Okay, so here there is a increase in the kinetic energy. Okay, when the velocity increases, there is a linear increase in the kinetic energy. That means as the velocity value becomes 1 2 3 4, my kinetic energy should also become 1 2 3 4. This shows that the kinetic energy is linear with the velocity value. So this can also be not an option. Why? Because here we can see there is not a linear increase in the kinetic energy, isn't it? It is not increasing 1 2 3 4. It is increasing as 1 4 9 16. So the change is non-linear. Okay, so here the option will be option D. Okay, why? Because here, although as velocity is increasing, kinetic energy is also increasing, but the increase in the kinetic energy is not linear, it is non-linear. So non-linear can represent like this. Okay, there is an another way to see. If we take kinetic energy as y and velocity as x, then it will be represented as y is directly proportional to what? X square. Okay, now here we will see what is the relationship between the kinetic energy and the momentum. Okay, that means we will derive a formula at the end which will show the relationship between the kinetic energy and the momentum. Okay, so we know that the kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. Okay, now here write the formula for momentum also. We know momentum is the product of mass and its velocity, isn't it? And momentum is represented by p. So p is equal to mv. Okay, now rewriting the formula for kinetic energy again, half mv square. Remember students, this p should be in small letters. Okay, now we can rewrite the formula of kinetic energy in this way also. It will result in mv square only, isn't it? Now what we are doing trying to do here is we want to replace the value of mv with p. Okay, so we can put the value of in place of mv, we can put the value of momentum from here. Okay, so we can put the value p here, but we also want the value of kinetic energy which is independent to the velocity. So we want to remove this extra v also. So in order to remove this extra v, what we will do, we will multiply the entire expression with, multiply and divide entire expression with m. Okay, so how we will do, we will multiply it and divide it with m. So what will it result? It will result in half mv v into m upon m. Okay, so now what will become? It will become half m square v square, okay, divided by m. Okay, what we have done, we had initially separated this v. Okay, now again here what we did, we multiplied and divided it with m. Okay, so it resulted in the form m square v square. Okay, and in the denominator m. Okay, so in place of m square v square, we can write mv to the power whole to the power 2. right? That means this is the value of what in the numerator? This is the value of what? It is the value of p square, because here if m square v square will come, then it will become what? P square. Okay, so in the numerator the momentum square is there. Okay, so in place of m square v square, we can replace it with momentum, we can replace it with p square. Okay, so half kinetic energy is equal to half p square divided by m. Okay, so this is the relationship between the kinetic energy and the momentum, and this relationship is independent to the velocity. Okay, now the most important thing that is need to be noticed here is that my kinetic energy in terms of momentum is p square divided by 2m. What does this mean? It means that kinetic energy is directly proportional to p square and my kinetic energy is inversely proportional to the mass. Okay, so if we double the value of momentum, so what will be the change in the kinetic energy? Since we know that kinetic energy is directly proportional to p square, so if value of momentum will get doubled, then what will be the change in the kinetic energy? It will become 4 times. If the momentum becomes 3 times, then the kinetic energy will become 9 times. Okay,